Welcome back to Target MMA. I'm your host Rob, and I'm here to give you my recap for UFC 330. And first and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. We lost the Bullseye Bet. We were on a nice streak, 4 in a row, and I overthought the absolute shit out of this card. But you know what? For good reason. I don't think anybody had tremendous success on this card. I think a lot of dogs won. A lot of huge upsets. First and foremost, second most, let's just get into it. We had Orby in our safe bet by finish. And early on, he was struggling with the striking. He was getting clipped by Wells. The overhands were catching Orby. He got some takedowns. He had a Kimura at one moment. And one thing that concerned me was he doesn't do front chokes. I remember looking it up, and I was like, all right, he has a lot of back takes. He has Kimuras. He has fun submissions. But then he doesn't do any front chokes. There was at least maybe 2 or 3 times, I was trying to count, where he could have gotten an anaconda. He could have gotten a darce, a guillotine. But he kept rolling to Wells' back and taking his back, trying to get a rear naked. It's like, dude, grab his neck. Well, Wells took over and said, I'll grab his neck. Round 3, ninja choke. Man was 1% or 7%. If you go on certain web pages, the percentage was so high on Wells, against Wells, it was insane. Biggest upset of the night to start the night, and off rip, we knew it was going to be a little shaky of a card. Next, Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. I took Ramiz by submission in my cycle because I couldn't find somebody on the card to win by submission other than Ramiz. Everybody else, they had their chance. I mean, if you told me Charles Johnson was going to get a fucking Scottish twister, can you imagine taking him by submission? If you took him by submission, let me know in the comments because, wow. I had him by KO or submission, KO or decision. That's later on. Neil Magny got the finish over Ramiz, where Ramiz was good early. He almost had the submission round 1. He was dominating on the ground. And then he death gassed round 2. He was just not in it anymore. Neil Magny got the TKO. And I have to look back at my recap, but this could have been a real Neil Magny fight. And it was. Neil Magny is so tricky to bet against or to even pick against because sometimes he looks good, sometimes he looks bad. And he might go on a list. He might be on my list of don't bet or don't bet against because he's very tricky. Next, Lucas Fernando. Lucas Fernando taking on Rafael Tobias. And I had Lucas as my bullseye pick. I even splashed by knockout. He was good. He was everything I said and more. Man had crisp striking. There were moments, I turned to my girlfriend, I'm like, do you see how fast he is? This guy, Rafael was putting his hands up after he was getting hit. It's like, wow, like this guy can't compete. The speed is unmatched. And Lucas, I thought for a moment he was going to get the TKO. And then round 3, up the middle, knee right to the sternum, drops Rafael. And I'm like, let's go. I was in there clapping. I was around a bunch of people at a party. And I'm the only one watching. Well, not the only one watching, but I was so locked in. Everyone was like, what's he clapping about? Good win for Lucas. Welcome to the UFC. Next, we have Vicente Luque. Another possible for my bullseye. And just to say this, I had maybe 7 bullseye possibilities. Luque was one, straight up, when he was a plus 102 dog. And the Orby, obviously, the main bullseye, lost. But the other 5 bullseyes smoked. They smoked. Vicente Luque, he abandoned the calf kicks that were working. And obviously, he lost by decision with Tresean Gore. But he looked sluggish. He started slowing down. But he had some, I think it was a knee that broke some of Tresean Gore's lower teeth. That was wild. I saw that afterwards. I'm like, wow, he really got pieced up. Nonetheless, Tresean Gore won this. He didn't look phenomenal. It was more of a Vicente Luque not looking good. But I could see Tresean Gore being a fade in the future, as well as Vicente Luque. Next, we had Dante Johnson. We paired him moneyline with other props for my bullseye. I also had him straight up plus 105 for knockout. He was the second leg of the cycle parlay, and he was my main pick going into this whole bullseye week. Picking for my bullseye, the main pick. And then I started overthinking it. I watched the fight, head right up in the air, swinging heavy, overconfident. And then he gets the knockout first round and adds number 5 against Eric McConaughey's list of being knocked out. First round knockout wasn't even close, and I ate my words and whatever. Charles Johnson taking on short nose replacement Eduardo Champolin Henrique, whatever his name is. He looked good. He was in Charles' face, and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. He's a scrawny little boy, but he was good. He was cracking Charles Johnson. And after the party, came home, and I got to watch this fight, and I'm glad I didn't miss it. This was fight of the night for me. I don't know. I know Charles Johnson got the 100K bonus. He was dropped. He was hurt. And USA chants in the background. I'm screaming. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, fucking dog it out, screaming at my TV because Charles Johnson he's never out of a fight. He will dog it out. He was hurt bad. They were going to stop the fight. He dogged it out. And then he got a Scottish twister. The point was taken away from Champolin round 1. So I thought maybe Charles Johnson was just going to win a decision or maybe get a knockout because he was clipping Champolin. But he ended up getting him on the ground. For some reason, he turned to a grappler. But I knew he had some submissions. I just didn't think it was going to happen tonight. A rare submission for Charles Johnson. A rare submission general. Good win for Charles Johnson. Next, we go to Chidi Njokuani taking on Joel Alvarez. Boring fight. Very boring. But I picked Chidi. Plus 350 dog. That was crazy. One of the dogs that people didn't see coming, but I did. Yay. At least you can say for one win, right? Chidi was the better striker. He kept Joel at bay. Joel had no takedowns in his arsenal. Barely had any striking. I was texting my boy. I'm like, this is not even close. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, bro, this is not even close. He's smoking him. The leg kicks, the kicks up the middle, the hands. I thought Chidi was going to knock him out, but Joel ate them like a champ, and I didn't think he was going to get... After watching it, I'm like, he's not going to get a knockout. But Chidi looked good. I mean, he looked good against Joel. In the future, he is a little bit sluggish in the sense of not going, But nonetheless, good win for the nice plus 350 underdog. Next, we had Esteban Ribovics taking on Edson Barbosa in his retirement fight. You see Edson crying on the way in, tugged on my heartstrings. I splashed a bet on Edson. That was a bad idea. Esteban was in his face, and he was fucking him up. He hurt him bad. I thought it was more of a scar tissue opening up for Esteban, for Barbosa, other than Esteban actually hurting him. But I was wrong. He smoked Edson, beat the crap out of him. TKO, it wasn't even close. Next, another big underdog, Dustin Stolford's taking on Malik. I picked Malik, but Dustin was a dog. He was an absolute menace in there. He weathered some storms, and he even hurt Malik several times. I think I said that in my breakdown, that this was a lot closer than the odds were giving him credit, because Dustin Stolford is a dog. He got a nice rear naked choke. in round two. Next, Jalen Turner. Another bullseye possibility. We had the under 1.5. And that was plus money. I don't know why they thought under 1.5 was plus money, or that it was a dog, because Kawe has good leg kicks. I picked him as a slight dog in my miss the mark because Jalen gets his legs chopped up, and that's what Kawe does. But the under was obvious. That's why I put it in a bullseye. But, picking unders and overs in rounds when anything is possible, Jalen Turner smoked him. I even told my girlfriend, we did a live bet. I'm like, let's take Jalen Turner. I took him by KO or submission. It was plus 120. More safely, I said straight up because everything and anything is happening tonight. Next, Mackenzie Dern versus Jillian Robertson. It wasn't even did not have an answer for Dern, and that was evident. She had a first round submission locked in, but Jillian showed grit. She showed that she was a dog. She weathered the storm, turning the color of her hair in that fight. She dogged it out, but it wasn't even close. A close one that had me biting my nails was Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry. Islam dropped him second round with a head kick, and Garry scrambled through a lot of adversity on the ground, but he was too hesitant. He was striking from range, clipping Islam, beat the shit out of his face. It was close. It was 2-1 going into the fourth, close fourth, but I think Islam needed the fifth round to get it done, and he did. And it was a very scary decision because I don't know if Islam's going to handle 170. 170 might be too big. He struggled with the takedowns against Islam, and it was evident. That's the recap, guys. Let's hit the mark next week. Let's hit a bullseye next week and start this train again. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's leave the guesswork out. Let's go hit the target. I'll see you guys next time.